This is Coach Ron, and let's talk about weight gain or managing weight, dealing with your so-called heavies. How are you going to go through the season dealing with that? No matter what team you have, what weight class you have, you're going to have kids who are approaching that cutoff line where they need to either move up, or in my case, it's going to be the end of the line for them as far as when it comes to youth football, and I have to go over or move up to the high school division. So what we need to do is find ways to actually help these kids manage their weight. Now, before we really get into that, as far as managing weight, me personally, I don't believe in restricting kids' weights when they're younger. They're growing, so you got to continue to let them grow. So to be quite honest, if you have a young child who is gaining weight, you need to move them up if they fit the age group where they can move to a heavier team. I don't really like restricting the kids' weight too young. When you're getting to the heavier level, or when you get into like the 160s, 165, and you're dealing with these 13 to 16-year-old boys, 16 only if you turn 16 after August 1st. You can't be 16 August 1st. But the 16-year-old boys, you don't really want to, none of them you really want to keep down. But if this is a kid who's not going to be able to play at the high school level, and this may be his last time being able to play football, how are you going to help this kid manage their weight or continue to make weight? Now, a lot of us have seen this, and a lot of us have actually done it ourselves. I know I have personally. I've put a plastic bag on and ran with that. That's not really allowed in Pop Warner. You shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be wrapping the kids up in plastic and sending them to run around, putting them in solar suits to run around. It's not even allowed in wrestling, where a lot of it stems from. But it's not allowed, so you shouldn't be doing that. Easy ways to lose weight is really, we want to talk about a healthy diet instead of actually saying, hey, I want to force you to not eat at all. You really want to look at getting them things as far as like the water liquid foods, like the fruits, cantaloupes, watermelons, honeydews, things of that nature, where they can gain nutrients and they can put fluids in their body that they're going to be able to run off when they're at practice. You want to promote healthy weight loss and not something that's going to tear these kids' bodies up. So you really need to pay attention to that as a coach or going into coaching, how important weight gain is or managing weight. So let's talk about the conditioning, as far as you can condition kids as far as running to try to help weight come off, jump rope, things of that nature. Just things to build up the heart rate, get that blood flowing, get them sweating, and losing weight. That's how you can do it. There's a healthy way to do it. I would even say introduce aerobics to the kids. I had an aerobic class that was introduced to me in 10th grade, and I laughed at it because our coach actually had a female instructor come in and sit in front of our entire football team and send us through an aerobic class. This is back when everybody's talking about Jane Fonda and this and that. Now we have Billy Blanks and all them and this P90X, but back then it was Jane Fonda. And we had a lady actually come in and put us through an aerobic workout, and we sat there and laughed like, I can't believe they trying to put us in aerobics. We was like, oh, that's for girls. Until we got into the workout and saw how hard aerobics is, the different movements, and just a consistent level of repetitive work, that builds up your heart rate, that gets you sweating, you lose a lot of weight doing that. And that's a healthy way that you can do it. You're exercising, so that's a part of your conditioning. You can have a so-called conditioning day to deal with your heavies or whatever, to deal with everybody. We're not just singling out one group, but in order to realistically be able to help kids be able to make weight, because you will have heavies, that's a realistic way that you can do it. So again, a lot of conditioning, do some aerobics, but I don't want anybody out there putting plastic bags on kids, putting them in solar suits and things of that nature. We know it's going to happen, but we don't want to do it. All right, so let's try to stay away from that. There are ways that you can prevent the kids from actually exceeding weight And lastly, we're going to talk about a healthy diet. Again, I told you can use the fruits, the water-based fruits or heavy water concentrated fruits, as far as watermelon, cantaloupes, honeydew melons, very sweet, high in water, and it's good for the kids before practice. It's going to let them sweat that off, so they're not really tearing up their body. So that again is a good thing. So stay consistent with that. We don't want to preach what they can't have. We're just going to teach them how to actually eat right in order to maintain their weight. Another thing that's actually great for kids, because I used it when I was losing weight back a long time ago, was Cheerios and Raisin Bran. High fiber and cereals like that are good for the kids to eat instead of eating all this junk food. And you know what? Here's a secret that a lot of people don't know. Eliminate sodas. If you take sodas out of the kids' diets, they will lose weight, because the soda is wrapped up in sugar, and that's going to keep the kids thirsty, basically. They're going to keep wanting more soda. Use more intake of that, and you're holding weight. So get rid of that. Also, even though Gatorade is a great thing to have, go to vitamin water. Gatorade has is high in salt. We're not talking bad about anything. That's great when you're actually on the field. You're sweating a lot. You want to keep some water in for the kids. Well, vitamin water is great for you to have, or just water, period. Because I don't even think you're supposed to have sports drinks at the Pop Warner level. Water, period, is just good for them after workouts, instead of putting stuff in them that's going to keep that weight gain on them. So again, gave you a little bit of options. You have Cheerios, you have Raisin Bran that are good for the kids to eat. I actually went on an all Cheerio diet when I was trying to lose weight, but I had to lose a lot of weight because my school that I went to, going as a freshman in the high school, they didn't have football. So the only way for me to play football was to play for the 135s, the Williamstown Warriors 135s in New Jersey. And I actually had to lose like 20 pounds. Now that's not recommended for anybody. That's definitely not recommended for kids, but I loved it so much, that's what I did. So I know for a fact Cheerios works, Raisin Bran works. I know in college they fed us a lot of fruits prior to practice, to get us hydrated so that we wouldn't be dehydrated. And it's also, you can easily sweat that off. So that's a great option for you, and you're keeping the kids healthy when doing it. So it's all about health. Find ways to help your kids maintain weight without hurting them by putting them in solar suits and risking heat stroke and stuff like that. Just find ways for them to lose this weight naturally. Get them on a jump rope, get some cardiovascular activities going on for them, and you'll see the weight coming off. It's going to be a slow thing. You can't get rapid weight loss. So if you need a child to drop, 5 pounds in a week, that's going to be tough. You get a pound per week as the Pop Warner season goes. So you may have to, again, it's not about us individually as coaches, so we're not going to be selfish. It's more about the kids. So we want to make sure that if we know that we'll get two pounds after 2 weeks, and this kid is struggling, he's on that line, but he'll be fine after 2 weeks, you maybe need to start thinking about that instead of putting this kid's health at risk and saying, hey, I need you to drop 5 on this week so that you can drop 5 again next week. And then in 2 or 3 weeks from down the line, you're going to be comfortable. I'm not really comfortable with saying that we need kids to be doing it. So again, fruit, Cheerios, Raisin Bran, aerobics, jumping rope, cardiovascular, a lot of conditioning. That should give you guys a great opportunity to have a healthy team without sacrificing anything or getting these kids into any bad habits for the future. All right, thank you.